Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to more What If craziness. Now, most strategic defence reviews and defence reviews are given boring titles like the infamous 1995 or 1998 options for cuts, change. And then its successor, the option for more cuts. Change. Well, anyway, I'm calling mine after a Madness Prince Buster song. One step beyond becomes one hill beyond. And I think that demonstrates really what I'm trying to do with the What If attack helicopter fleet. Now here we have two of the main new types which are coming into service to replace my AH-1F SES Cobras, which are upgraded Cobras. However, they are a bit long in the tooth and they are a single engine model. Here we have two Dream Vipers, AH-1Z or Z Vipers, one of which has acquired a longbow radar and a data link pod to deal with the processing and the radar stuff, and to data link it in with everything else. These are the Dream model kits, which are absolutely fantastic, except for they lack detail in this gun turret, which I have done on this model with just a bit of plastic tubing cut up and put inside. And they also lack this tiny little probe here just on the, I don't know what you call that, the rotor blade surround housing. Apart from that, absolutely fantastic kits, wonderful. And then we have two of the AH-64s. Now these were originally going to be the Apaches, which are going to have AH-64As redone in cooperation with Lindsay Greyhound and the AGF Corporation. However, I ordered both the Apache D model, the one from Italeri, which will make you the prototype of the Westland attack helicopter AH-64D, but it won't make you the most latest E or D models in service, which have different shapes here at the back of the sponsons, and that's to do with some kind of countermeasures or data processing stuff. So it won't quite make you the latest in service model. If you want the latest ones, get the Academy kit, but it's still a really nice kit. And then I ordered a model and was a bit surprised because I had thought that this D model from Italeri came with the wrong sponsons. It doesn't. It does come with the right front bit, but the wrong rear bit. I hope that makes some sense. So here we have Lindsay Greyhound has secured a load of old A models which are being upgraded by the Malagasy Defence Industry in company with AGF Solutions and AGF Enterprises, and they have become the backbone of 36, which I'll be using in my fleet mainly to support the army directly. And they have underneath, they have this large pod there, which is, if you look at the Israeli Apaches, what they're doing with those, with the A models, is they're keeping the A models in, but the A model doesn't have the space for all the processing needed for data links and modern avionics, so they add a little thing underneath. And that's what I've done with this D model as well, is giving it that. Now they're all upgraded to the latest engines, but not the latest IR suppression, because what if Madagascar doesn't quite need that? And someone had a really good suggestion about using the Cobras in more of a recce role, and that's what I've gone for really. The Cobra is faster, more manoeuvrable than the Apache. The Apache is more heavily armoured, more survivable, and can carry a greater punch in some ways with the 30mm gun compared to the 20mm. Now the Americans, from what I understand, are looking at upgrading the Cobras into 30mm chain guns, but I'm not sure how far they're along with that. Now my Cobras will be taking over the role of scout helicopters, so I'll have 24 Cobras and 36 Apaches, and I think that the types really do assist each other quite well. The Cobra is, or Viper in this case, I keep calling it Cobra, is very well equipped to operate from ships and to go out and do that scouting role. So here we have Roberta and Daniela, and here we have Agatha, and we have FV, or Foxtrot Victor. I was trying to find an O, but it doesn't look like they did it in the markings. And of course, these all fit into a data linked concept, and a data linked concept of total operations. So here we have at the rear some of my containerized weapon loads. We have the Salty Sea Dog, Salty Sea Dog. We have the Penguinator, which is a Penguin missile system with 4 missiles mounted on a truck. We have Psychic Susan, the jamming piece of equipment. We have the command center for this little lot. And then we have a short-range air defense system, copying the Chinese HJ-10 missile boxes, because I've got tons of them. And I wanted to look at how this all fits in with attack helicopters and how this fits in the age of drones. And I covered in a quick video that the Cobras, this Cobra here, this Viper here, will be carrying some of these drones for, it can carry up to can carry up to 12, but it's carrying 4 in this case. And they pop out here and they are loitering munitions. The wings pop out like that. And these have come from the Vespid KF-51 kit, but they are the same ones that are in the launcher box on the KF-51s. And the idea is that I'm working now the one hill beyond. So in terms of attack helicopters and generally what they do is they come up to hills and they come up to ridges and they hover and they look out and they observe and they use their longbow radar in this case, which does have a downside of giving away some radar emissions. The longbow radars, by the way, the new ones have double the range of the old ones, so we're looking at a 10, 11 mile range. That's what they say in public. And generally they look at the hill over here and try and see and target the tanks, and then they'll pop off a Hellfire or a TOW 2 missile here, and they'll destroy that tank. Now, the bad thing about that, and as you know from what's happening in Ukraine, the Russian helicopters have been incredibly effective, but they have to remain stationary when firing, and that's a real good asset of the Hellfire missiles. It's fire and forget. It uses an IR imaging electro-optical sensor. In the newer versions, the older ones can still use the laser homing. But it does expose you to what's in that hill beyond. So beyond the one that you can see, beyond the range of what you can see, there could be a surface-to-air missile system. You pop your helicopter up for a look, bang, you've been shot down. Now, all of the helicopters, really attack helicopters, unless they're involved in coin or counterinsurgency operations, they fly nap of the earth. And if you watch the British Army Lynxes, when we had Lynxes and the way that they train, they operate to extreme low level. And if you've ever seen them in the Fens or out in East Anglia, you just know how low they are. But really, they're working to this hill, and I'm looking at going beyond that hill, beyond that ridge line, to what's over it. And that's where the drones come in, because the helicopter can pop up some reconnaissance drones and they can get in a position and look down literally one hill beyond, or one ridge beyond, or one area beyond. So it extends the reach of the attack helicopter further. So if we look at this from the forward battle area and the forward line of troops, own troops, say that's here, and we look at, say, a kill box that an attack helicopter is working in, well, it will use the drone, put the drone up in the air, and the drone will then be able to recon and scout the areas ahead of the attack helicopter. So then the attack helicopter knows what's ahead, what it's targeting, and what it can engage. And this is where the next missile system comes in, and this is the new missile system using this HJ-10 box, because I've got absolutely tons of them. And as you can see, it's fitted here to this Viper, and it's fitted here to this Apache with a large data link pod. Now, the data link is incredibly important for this, and we'll come on to what that gives in the future. But the idea here is that it's expanding the range of weapons that can be used to include what is a derivative of the Salty Sea Dog. Salty Sea Dog, I just love that name. And the loitering drones as well can pick up targets for the Hellfires. And the Salty Sea Dog is giving these helicopters now a weapon which has, in my what if world, 3 times the range of the Hellfire. So it's a much more capable weapons system. And how does that work? Well, one, it works through those data links. So it's really important that one of the pair of Vipers is carrying the data link, which is doing the processing for the longbow radar there. This is from a kinetic kit. It's the standard data link pod you get from Israel. And it's providing data to its other companion and providing data to the Apaches, which have got the data link pod there, and they are all connected to these nodes, communication nodes. There's the data links on the top, and airborne wise, that's where the DH6C conversions, my EH6s, come in, and they are providing all of this lot with a communications node and a hard to jam data link network. Now we'll talk about jamming in a minute, but the idea of the Salty Sea Dog expanded missile, which is this one here, which is a loitering weapon system, is that basically the Salty Sea Dog, Salty Sea Dog, the helicopter fires this up, it goes into a loitering position, and this can be one hill or one ridge or many ridges in this case, or hills beyond the range. It's a man-in-the-loop targeting system. You've reconnaissed the area with your drones, you picked out your target, you identify the target, and the gunner can guide the missile into the target, boom, taking out the target. The target moves or he needs to reselect a different one. Because it's a man-in-the-loop missile system, he can switch, or they can switch I should say, and take out the next target. It's effectively what the Israelis have in the Spike ER missile that they carry on their Apaches, but with slightly longer range and a slightly bigger box. But that's where the idea of the integration has come from. So it's come again from sort of Israeli practice in using their Spike ERs. Now, in the data linked mode, and you'll notice that the data link pods have a front and rear with receivers and sending sensors. Same on the Apache. This Apache one is just an old fuel tank repurposed from somewhere. It looks like they're doing some hot refueling there. The data link means that you can fire the Salty Sea Dog, Salty Sea Dog, I just love it, and you can turn away and get out of danger, and you can still guide and still communicate with the weapon. Now, you'll say, well, what about jamming? Now, high jamming environments do exist, such as in the war with Russia and Ukraine. You'll notice that a lot of the drones which rely on data links, as they approach vehicles, they receive jamming and interference. And as they get nearer to enemy command centres, the jamming and interference increases. Well, the Salty Sea Dog also has the option of having a fibre optic launch, and that is a fibre optic cable from the launcher which comes out and has a good range. The range is of course classified in what if land, and it allows the aircraft to operate the missile in a high jamming environment. The downside with that, and it is a big downside, is that a helicopter has to remain stationary or in the same-ish area in a hover while the fibre optic cable pays out, because if it turns away or takes evasive action, it will self-cut the cable as a safety feature. So it has more of a limitation on the airframe and the crew. These are therefore my current attack helicopter builds. These will take the place of the SES Cobras. I've got one more Apache build planned, which I may do as a permanent AGF anti-giant S-Force one, or I may give it another companion and build another 2 Apaches. Let me know what you think. Is 6 attack helicopters too much? Budget Lady would say yes. Let me know your thoughts. I hope you found this helpful. And there we go. One hill beyond.